Kia ora koutou katoa. Hello Pisces, and welcome to my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page if you've come across this video on Facebook. So as always, I want to say thank you to everybody for your thumbs up, your likes, shares, comments, and also donations. So thank you very much to those of you who have been donating. I really do appreciate everything, all of what I've just said as far as thumbs up, likes, shares and comments and as well. So it all helps with create or bring about more of an awareness of both social media platforms, especially one I'm wanting to grow is my YouTube channel. So I do encourage subscribing to my YouTube channel as well. So the other thing is I want to mention too is just a reminder about the messages that come through with these readings. They are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. If they do, wonderful. If they don't, then just leave it and maybe pack it up for a little bit. Don't throw it right out, because it could be more of a forecast for you rather than something that's in the now, which is why it's not possibly not resonating. So on saying that, I just also want to remind everybody or tell everybody that these reads are suitable for those of you who have Pisces in your chart. So it may be in your sun, moon, rising and or Venus sign for you. The other thing is, if you don't know what your other signs are, because that's what I was going to say, check out one of your other signs. If you don't know what they are, there is a link in the description box below that will take you to a website that has a free calculator on it, and it will work it out for you. And that way you can check out your other signs and see, and it may give you more of a comprehensive overview about what could be happening for you, like in the future, in the near future, or what might be going around you at now, even in the now. So to give you a bit more an understanding, probably have some aha moments. So I do encourage checking out those. So anyway, of course, if that resonates with you. Okay, so the other thing is, so I am available for take bookings for readings, property clearings, house clearings, self clearings, as in the healing side of things, and shifting your, with chakra energy, zhuzhing up your chakras and all your auras, and helping you to shift some energetic blockages, you could say, or little kinks in there, into flowing more nicely within you and without of you as well. So, and we can work on that together, of course, as always. So today I have, today is Friday the 9th of October. So generally, yes, of course, your videos come out on, readings come out on Thursdays. And you will have noticed that they've kind of been a little bit more erratic lately with things, as things are changing with me and within me and around me as well. So things are changing within you and around you as well. So unfortunately, it means that sometimes I'm going to be a little bit late with these messages that come through. And it seems to be used more so, Pisces, that when I get to Thursday, there's something, that or just gets in the way. So I do appreciate your patience with these coming out on odd days. But on saying that, I have noticed that and have the feeling that they've come out at exactly the right time when you probably most need to hear them anyway. Okay, so we have the Starman Tarot deck that I'm using today, and the Sacred Earth Oracle, and the angels have been flapping around me lately, so this week more so coming around. So I have a feeling that I'm going to be using some of the other cards, angel cards, that I've come across over the years next week. So we'll see how we go. But anyway, these are the ones that the messages that the angels have given me to write on cards, and at some point, hopefully soon, I'll have those out and about, ready to go. So the other thing is, where are we going? Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so first of all, we have the Eight of Swords. So I use what restricts me, which is really interesting. So to grow is what I'm hearing. Okay, so there's two ways of looking at this, and so when I'm hearing that, I use what restricts me, and I'm hearing like to grow from, and it's about, but I'm hearing also on the, obviously for some of yous at the end of the day, sometimes we need to let go of the struggle basically, or relinquish the struggle and let go. So and realizing that this is the struggle really is, or this, what holds us really is a state of mind basically. So it's freeing ourselves from our state of mind, that whatever that is going on is that it is our mind that's restricting us from moving forward, or our thoughts, in that sense. So and when it's interesting, because it's like, I use what restricts me, because sometimes what is to learn from, it's like where are they going? So it's about exploring the realm of constriction and how it focuses you. And I just read that from out of this booklet, and I've just written that down there as a note. And it's interesting because, when you think about it, like when we do feel restricted, actually, it is a place to actually learn from while we're in there. It's like, what exactly is going on with us? And actually, how can I grow from this? So interestingly enough, when we think about going, and I'm thinking, as I was like reading that, writing that down and making that note, is, what happened to, what happened when you were, with COVID, when we were in the lockdown, for 4 weeks, and that created a restriction. Even going into level 3, there was still more, there was a lesser amount of restriction, but not much less. Then we go into level 2 and then level 1, and it's like, so it's like decreasing that restrictiveness. But what did you learn about yourself in that time of restriction? How did you cope with it? What was going through your mind? And so it was a really good time, that I felt anyway, to work on all that sort of thing. So sometimes when we consciously restrict ourselves from something, it may be you are restricting yourself from the amount of money that you're spending. It may be that, and you may be needing to do that. So have a look at like, what is actually going on around you? Is it in your control, or is it not in your control? Is it something, and then how much of it is in your control, or your control, and how much isn't? So it's kind of like, or where your thinking is with that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a really awesome time to go that little bit deeper and actually, figure out what, why, and having a look at the bigger picture, what is going on, what's happening around you, why you are being restricted, or why you are restricted. Is it self-inflicted, like super self-inflicted? Probably. Or is it something that's really out of your control, which is like, say for instance, like the lockdown, or something like your car breaks down, but then there may have been a certain amount of control over that. So maybe you could have got something, you never paid attention to something that needed to be fixed, and you didn't get it fixed. So that's what's created it or caused it. However, it's like, okay, this is what's happened. So it's finding that resilience within us and finding the way to find a solution or an outcome, a solution to the problem, and that sort of thing. So that's where they're going with that. So this is where the Eight of Swords has come in, is figuring out what it is that actually restricts you. And it's like, what do you use to restrict you as well? So and it's relinquishing ourselves of that, or yourself, of the struggle within that restriction. That's one of the other things I've heard from that. So the Two of Swords comes in after that. So I trust my ability to find my way. So it's interesting, they've gone from the Eight of Swords, go to the Eight of Swords, and they come back to that. So they're just like reminding you that you can, you trust your ability to find your way. You have, like I'm hearing, they're being a little bit cheeky, a sonar energy. We all, like as in our intuition, use it to get out, and don't, dispel or like push away your, what is going on, and don't, it's kind of like going into, oh, that will never work. But how do you know? Did you try it? And it's like, it may be like a part of the process of whatever it is going on. So this is about, and there may be a decision that you may have been feeling You may be feeling pressure, which is brought about this restriction thing, or moving on from that, the pressure to make a decision, or a choice, an important choice maybe. And it's like, and this is kind of like, this is what this card is about, is I trust my ability to find my way. It's going within there, which goes back to this as well. The Eight of Swords is, you know, to find your way, that you will find a way. You can find a way. It's about trusting your intuition, basically. And it's also about, saying that when we're in that space, it's about not rushing anything. So often it is better to, that we handle it by not rushing, and really super trusting your instincts, or our instincts, okay? The inner wisdom, and then make a choice from there. So, and often, you know, sometimes we want to know, like, what's coming next, blah, 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 and every little step. But often when we do find out that we do actually get it, do actually even follow it. So this is why it's really important to, like, especially now in this day and age, is to and trust our own instincts as to that process of what it is and where it is and how it is we're going to, you know, we need to move to relinquish ourselves from that restriction. So it's like looking at it like the journey is more important than the than the destination. So sorry, I'm just having a little bit blinky moment there. The journey is actually more important than the destination, because that's where we get the learning from. So then when the next time when we're like going into something and make a decision, we've figured out a little bit more about our instincts, you know, and trusting our trust within ourselves. So that's where they're going with that. So there's been maybe a little bit of a journey where that you're in that place at the moment, Pisces. So this is like, you know, not letting your emotions get in the way too much with that one. So the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Wands came out together this time for this round, and it's the Ace of Wands. So that was the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Cups is I overflow with the essence of life. So in this deck, it talks about, you know, the pulse of existence that brings joy and ecstasy. Okay, exquisitely connected to everything. So, and you know how sometimes when we get to that point and we like realization that actually, or that, oh, I see it now, and how you will get more connected with life and more observant in that, and it's like in feeling more into what is there on a level where it's not so much a needy level, but it's just appreciation of what actually, you know, is out there in the world for us, nature wise, other people wise, you know, energy wise, with people who we love, things that we love. And then when we put that energy of love out there and connect to everything in love, and love comes back to us, it's like, whoa. So there's that sort of energy that they're talking about there. So with this card also, you know, it's, you know, where are they going with that? Yeah, there's something about new beginnings, basically, with this emotionally with the Ace of Cups. So it could mean that, you know, there with this card coming up though, it could mean that there is a deep love, or there could be a deep hate for something. If evoked, you know, and when evoked, it's like depending on what is going on for you. Or it could be something that you may be processing at the moment, where there is a deep love or a deep hate for something, you know, at the same time. Or some things it's like, you know, it's an interesting thing, but I feel like those of you who understand that, you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? So there's that sort of thing. So it's either that, because it could be not so much a negative thing when you say a deep hate, but there may be something that's coming out that you've recognized that actually, you know what, I really don't like that. I really super, you know, I hate the way that is, or it's like, oh, I really love that. And maybe you never noticed that so much with this thing or that thing, or that about you before. So either way, there's a new emotional beginning. So some of you will know that, but then you're working to shift the energy more so if it's like on a hate basis. So but even on a love basis, it's still good, not so much to shift the energy, but to understand it if you're not really, you know, clicking with it, or getting it, what Spirit are talking about. So there's a learning in either way. So then we have the Seven of Wands. So I will not give up. So whatever it is that you're working through that's bringing up all this stuff in there, that's going on around you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's been, a son or, a child or a sibling or a parent or a friend or a work colleague, or a business colleague, a business partner, or whatever it is. It could be something to do with, with yourself as well. In that sense of relationship, it could be something with different projects that you're working on, and the emotional attachment you have with those that have been in the past. So, or the emotional connection to things in the past that have, with other projects that you've had done or been doing, and it's like you're doing something now, and you're watching yourself, understanding yourself, how that process for you is going through these projects, and when something doesn't work, how do you work out, how do you respond to that, and it's like really viewing yourself in that sense. So the Seven of Wands talks about the ability to defend a vision against opposition at all costs. Basically, there may be some tremendous opposition, and or or setbacks that may come your way, and there's and finding a way to follow through with it. So there may be something like that that's going on with it, and this is what the Seven of Wands brings. If it may be something, that energy that you may need to step into, and not letting anything derail you, from the cause or the project or the goals or the dream that you've been setting. So often, there is stiff competition, and it's, with ourselves, and with our self-image and ourselves, and how we're going to overcome the external forces or the external oppositions or or the setbacks that come along the way, that we see as very problematic, or can see. So it's like, yep, something happens. So it's about going back before, like they're talking about, is finding a solution. And then we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, he's the amazing energy. He is an authority figure who is firm but fair. So there may be that sort of energy that's going on with you, that maybe you need to be a little bit firm but fair on yourself in order to get these tasks done, or in order to free yourself from the restrictions that you've placed upon yourself, and or the combination of what has come, like you're out of something that may have been kind of out of your control, but also there's something about being out of your control with some of you, and maybe a combination. You've got to a stage now where, okay, I can take control, but you maybe haven't yet. So there's something about that as well. So the King of Swords, he is a shrewd yet charming, and he's able to outwit his opponents through clever use of words rather than brute force, basically. So he has an amazing energy. So this is where they're kind of maybe going, you may be feeling, or that you may be requiring some of these attributes or these abilities and skills that the King of Swords has in yourself. So maybe developing these within yourself. So he is, like I say, he believes in a fair world, and willing to endure pain also, and destroy any escape paths, basically, with himself and with all for others, basically. But and also there's that feeling with going to the Starman deck, is like the energy of bringing about people who are allies and along, that have the same or similar sort of vision and are willing to be led by you. So he has this positive, a powerful, positive vision of humanity. So that we're, with his energy. So it's really interesting that we talk about that, because it goes back to that COVID thing, like what we talked about before, about that constriction side of things in there. And restriction. So he talks about, this card also talks about, the requirement of, quelling your emotions, basically, and come up with a workable plan, basically, is where they're working with that. So, and whatever is going on around you. So I'm going to leave you with the tarot card. So we're just going to pull a card, see what falls out actually from magnetism. So Sacred Earth Oracle deck. This one is the one that found out magnetism. And so this one for me is about, the law of attraction, basically. We can magnetize to us what it is that we're wanting to do, be, have, and give in life. But it's like, who do we want to do, be, give, and have in our lives as well? But we've got to make an effort or take action towards what it is with ourselves, as well as, to make something and become more in alignment, or to create something to become more in alignment. So, but we've got to make an effort basically to position ourselves as where they're going for that alignment to take place. Okay, so magnetism in there. Cool. Bananas. And I just feel like I want to draw out one more. Here we go. Oh, well, okay, I don't want to draw one out. Well, I just want one to flip right out. Come and flip out for me, please. So what does the sign of Pisces, what have you got to talk to or share with the sign of Pisces? Okay, this one, efficiency. So when we're in that space, you will know yourselves. You'll be more efficient is where they're going. So this is about bringing out that efficiency side of you out more. And it may have been or out again, or just out. So you may be feeling like you've been a little bit slack and you're been a little bit go with the flowish. But it's time to like maybe be, because I know for me when I'm more, when I'm more in that efficient state and I'm practicing that more, it's like things start to roll a lot better. But because I'm bringing things together. So, but on saying that, it's like taking it, but it's not being over the top with it. Does that make sense? It's finding that balance with it. Okay, where they're going with it. So I'm just going to see where the angels are going. So we're going here. They're wanting to share a message, and I think, yep, this is the collective deck and of angels deck that's been, it's great. Oh, jeepers. Okay, angels. Heavenly and earthly angels are around you, they're talking about. So bring them in, let them in, and allow them to help you with your process and your progress in life and the choices that you're making, okay? Because they're there to help you. So call them in. And there may be because I'm just thinking, there may be something going on with your health as well. So this is what I'm hearing is about, for some of you, is there may be a bit of stress. Going back to this Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords is, with that restriction, stressing yourselves or overstressing yourself with that. So allowing yourself to relinquish the struggle. Stop fighting, fighting whatever is going on. Figure out whatever it is, and find, create a workable plan to like make this shift, to shift the direction of things. We need to be working on ourselves and stop struggling. And why are you struggling? It's probably because your head's getting in the way and you're wanting it to be a specific way. It's not always going to turn out like that. So there's something about, this is about you being not hard on yourself, but this is like this tough love kind of a sort of a thing in a way, but it's just been like cutting through your bullshit basically, and stop over dramatizing things in your mind and out there as well. So it may be that you've been a drama queen or a drama king and put some energy out there, and and realizing it's remembering too that the energy that we put out is more likely what we're going to get back. So where that magnetism goes, and that the cycle here that goes when we're putting in that, the cycle that goes around, or the infinity sign, if we're putting out negative energy, we're putting out not good stuff, is that's what's going to cycle or recycle around, or cycle in there and connect in there. It's kind of like, or that what you're putting out is what you're going to receive back, however way you like to see that. So sometimes we can overdo things with ourselves, and remember, they're talking about health as well. Okay, watching your health, and remembering to take some time out as well. Okay. And anyway, I'm going to leave it there for you this week, Pisces. So we leave you with lots of love, peace, harmony, and joy, excitement, adventure, and prosperity and abundance, okay, from my spiritual team, the energy of the Zions, and also the energy of Pisces. God bless you. Namaste. See you next week on Thursday.